Remember that political violence is what kept Black Mississippians from voting. It was Charles and Medgar Evers trying to go and register to vote and having 200 white men with guns face them down and threaten to kill them if they tried to register. And Charles and Medgar saying, we got guns too, and then Medgar saying, you know what, maybe it's only 4 of us and 2 of them, we should go home, but we'll live to fight another day. They did end up registering, but they weren't able to vote in that election, and that was in the Theodore Bilbo election. It was Theodore Bilbo saying the best way to keep a Black person from voting is to visit them and word the night before, and using tremendous political violence. There was a congressional testimony, there was a field hearing in Mississippi in which the members of Congress tried to understand what had happened in that election. I mean, Black people were terrorized out of voting. What I would say now is that we don't face that level of political terror, but the level of terror that you face now is real, and we should acknowledge that it's real.
Yes.
When you've got Proud Boys and Oath Keepers showing up in Arizona with long guns, it's intimidating. You know there are mass shootings and you see people with visible weapons, you know, at your polling place or, you know, outside where you're trying to count votes, when you're having Ruby Freeman and her daughter, Shane Moss, threatened with death and kidnapping and all of the rest just for being election workers. This is a time that is very much like Medgar Evers' time. And so we have to ask ourselves, how did people at that time respond to that? What did they do when they were faced with the same things we did? You know what they did? They voted. They voted anyway. And because they understood that, as King said, you may not be able to get the racist sheriff to stop being racist towards you or change his mind, but you can vote him out. And in the end, I think what people have to remember is that the vote and using the vote is actually the strongest and most powerful tool that you have. And maybe you vote in numbers, maybe you vote absentee so you don't have to go and face those gunmen. Maybe you get all of your church friends or all of your group chat or all of your friends to organize, you know, a convoy where you can all drive together. You start using your community, using the community that you've built up around you, and you find ways to get together and be brave, but not voting ain't the answer. It's just, you're ceding it to the other side. And what they want desperately is for you to not participate and for you to give up. In autocratic societies and societies that are fully gone, there are elections like in Russia, but they aren't real, they don't matter. And when we start to believe elections don't matter, we're on our way to being them. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Joy-Ann